Good day, Professor Johnny Bolongkaita. My name is Sean Rodrigo Castorico Piñones from Section C3, second year BS Biology. Are you an ethical person? Well, how can your level of ethics be assessed with the greatest degree of accuracy? Most people would concur with that. What is the ability to distinguish between good and bad? However, this isn't the case. Sufficient because someone with integrity lives by their convictions about what is right and wrong. Whatever the consequences may be, there are a variety of ways to conduct oneself morality. Having the right knowledge and really doing it are two very different things. One of the hardest moral judgment we have to make in life is whether or not to do something or to refuse to admit our errors when confronted with the consequences of our conduct. View the list of politicians who have affairs and have lied about them, made aware of the truth like the police who cover up their immorality. When we make a mistake or use bad judgment, we are reluctant to confess it. A lot of people hide in an effort to absolve the critics of their terrible deeds. Obviously, that is not how most things work out. When you start talking lies, you've already taken the first step on this route. A moral person won't participate because it's unethical, untrue, and unprofessional. And against ethics, imagine that your classmate is forcing you to screenshot all of your answers and send them to him in exchange for paying money for your own benefit. But does this imply that you're being unfaithful to your fellow classmates, instructor, and to you also? And does this in any way go against one's ethical duty? The answer is both yes and no. The important, it is impossible to overstate the value of loyalty, but it should never be used as a method to evade basic moral obligation like honesty, dependability, and responsibility. Many times we act in someone else's best interest instead of our own. Sincerity is a virtue and moral character that is frequently compared to even if there are significant differences between the two. Being truthful is truthful. Honesty is defined as saying what you honestly feel to be true. Although untrue, one may assert anything without being dishonest. You might have witnessed a situation where you believe you know the offender only to be proven mistaken. Truth is concerned with the objectivity of the fact something can only be a true or false depending on the situation. I always respond yes when people ask me if ethics can be taught. My response is that it should always be tried, even if the listener does not learn a lesson from it. What drives us is the desire to leave an ethical trace in all we do. This is the justification that truly moral action is driven by an inner desire to act in others' best interest rather than just one's own. I don't always succeed in trying to lead a moral life as a being human. I make mistakes periodically. I try to make things right whenever I can, but sometimes we harm others and there is nothing we can do to make it right. Despite the fact that I try to be human and I am a human, this is not a strange thing to me. The majority of people, however, don't care whether the person is suffer from the injustice if they are not affected by it. In my opinion, it is forbidden to have extramarital affairs, falsifying timesheets or miss crucial dates. I can say that I always uphold my moral principles, though that makes it simpler for me to keep thinking how my action have moral to repercussions. I may quit considering the ethical implication of my choices if I considered myself to be an ethical person. Ethical person. I don't exactly consider myself to be a saint because I believe that most people are moral in general. You could surely rely on me to tell the truth if you think you're in a moral stop thinking about other people instead watching your own back. That's all. Thank you.